Audrey in with a time of 70.68, 70.68. Laura Murray approaching the finish, and Luna Quintana out of the gate. Laura Murray in with a time of 38.20, 38.20. Luna Quintana approaching the finish, and Heather Moriarty out of the gate. Luna Quintana in with a time of 42 even, 42.00. Heather Moriarty approaching the finish, and Claire Sciano out of the gate. Heather Moriarty in with a time of 36.25, 36.25. Claire Sciano approaching the finish, and Lily Wagner out of the gate.
For those of you just joining us, we know we're having some trouble streaming. Not sure why. We've tried two different systems and neither of them are working properly here, so we'll see when we get back to you here. We are recording it, so if you can hear the sound, we are recording, and we'll repost the...
Lily Wagner approaching the finish, and Sophie Wilkins out of the gate.
So again, we apologize for those tuning in that we're having some issues, but have two different systems and both of them are not working correctly, and that's odd, so it's some kind of internet issue that we're having here.
Sophie Wilkins approaching the finish, and Catherine Rosser out of the gate.
We will try to correct it here before long.
Sophie Wilkins in with a time of 41 even, 41.00. Catherine Rosser approaching the finish. Sienna Montague out of the gate.
It's the day for like personal best and like in the best of that year election.
Catherine Rosser in with a time of 46.04, 46.04. Sienna Montague approaching the finish, and Lena Michael out of the gate. Sienna Montague in with a time of 38.29, 38.29. Lena Michael approaching the finish, and Kristen Van Dorn out of the gate. Lena Michael in with a time of 43.34, 43.34. Kirsten Van Dorn approaching the finish, and Sophia Menudo out of the gate. Kirsten in with a time of 32 even, 32.00. Sophia Menudo approaching the finish, and Rihanna Tierney out of the gate. Sophia in with a time of 65.92, 65.92. Rihanna Tierney coming into the finish, and Grace Denny now on course. Rihanna in with a time of 37.30, 37.30. Grace Denny approaching the finish, and Sydney Hurlbut now on course. Grace Denny in with a time of 49.99, 49.99. Sydney Hurlbut approaching the finish, and Abby Grove now on course. Sydney in with a time of 41.35, 41.35. Abby Grove approaching the finish. Emma Prabonnet now on course. Abby Grove in with a time of 41.65, 41.65. Malia Raz now on course. Malia Raz in with a time of 34.94, 34.94. Quinn Wohler approaching the finish, and Jaden Brock now on course. Quinn Wohler in with a time of 61.12, 6112. Jaden Brock approaching the finish, and Valerie Miller now on course.
If you're just joining us, don't forget, oops.
Jaden Brock in with a time of 44.64, 44.64.
I apologize, we've had some streaming issues, but I think we're up and running now. Not sure, I think we had some cell tower problems, to be honest with you.
Valerie Miller approaching the finish. Ella Napolitano now on course. Valerie Miller in with a time of 47.51, 47.51. Ella Napolitano approaching the finish, and Katie Mance out of the gate.
Like I said, we'll reload the finished version later so you don't miss any of the skiing if we have any more problems.
Ella Napolitano in with a time of 58.67, 58.67. Katie Mance approaching the finish, and Nicole Cartwright out of the gate. Katie Mance in with a time of 37.12, 37.12. Nicole Cartwright approaching the finish, and Emma Jo Pierce out of the gate. Nicole Cartwright in with a time of 36.35, 36.35. Emma Jo Pierce approaching the finish, and Anna Wood out of the gate. Emma Jo Pierce in with a time of 41.81, 41.81. Anna Wood approaching the finish, and Abby Lewandowski out of the gate. Anna Wood in with a time of 40.17, 40.17. Abby Lewandowski into the finish with a 42.24, 42.24, and that concludes the girls varsity. And now the first boys varsity, Jackson McInerney now on course. Jackson McInerney in with a time of 30.69, 30.69. Dylan Quackenbush now on course. Dylan Quackenbush approaching the finish, and Connor Stuckey now on course. Dylan Quackenbush in with a time of 34.77, 34.77. Connor Stuckey approaching the finish, and Cameron Clare out of the gate. Connor in with a time of 28.40, 28.40. Cameron Clare approaching the finish, and Adam Hunt out of the gate. Cameron Clare into the finish with a 30.39, 30.39. Adam Hunt approaching the finish, and Zach Wagner out of the gate. Adam Hunt into the finish with a 27.96, 27.96. Zach Wagner approaching the finish. Andrew Davis out of the gate. Zach Wagner into the finish with a 38.22, 38.22. Andrew Davis approaching the finish, and Chaz Dorflinger out of the gate. Andrew Davis into the finish with a 34.67, 34.67. Chaz Dorflinger into the finish with a 32.02, 32.02.
Apologize if you're watching. We're having some internet problems.
Ben T now on course.
Just so you know, I do know what's happening before you guys do. So I appreciate the text messages and stuff, but there's nothing I can do. Sometimes the tower's not feeding the right, and we're not on Swain's system here because they won't allow us.
Ben T approaching the finish.
So we have to rely on mobile hotspots and.
And Ben Teed in with a time of 37.30, 37.30.
I am recording this, so I'll post it with the HD versions, obviously. And I see they're fixing the area up there that a couple of the racers have wiped out, more than a couple, probably about 5 of them have had trouble in that, 5 or 6 of them had trouble in that area. So hopefully they'll get that ironed out and fixed. Obviously, you want it right for the second race, second times down the hill. So again, if you're watching, apologize for streaming issues, but it's something I cannot I can try to correct, but it doesn't seem to be working here. And I think this is the first time, but we'll try to make sure we're all right for Saturday's events and correct it even on the rest of this event here. And like I said, they're working right now to repair a spot that...
Just out of the start house, Jack Burns of Alfred Allman.
Okay.
Jack Burns, Alfred Allman approaching the finish. Ryan Thayer of Keshequaz at the top of the race course. Jack Burns with a time of 31.83, 31.83. Ben Stone of Batavia just out of the race house. Ryan Thayer at Keshequaz approaching the finish. Ryan with a first run time of 30.73, 30.73.
Ooh, wipe out. Same spot several racers have wiped out today.
Evan Hall of Hornell just out of the start house. Ben Stone of Batavia approaching the finish. Ben Stone with a first run time of 50.40, 50.40. Evan Hall of Hornell with a first run time of 40.20, 40.20. Andrew Slade of Livonia is at the top of the race course. Andrew Slade with a first run time of 31.39, 31.39. Eli Vosberg of Wayland, Cohocton, Dansville is on the race course. Eli Vosberg with a first run time of 44.71, 44.71.
And if you're just joining us, welcome. I'm Bob Heischer, broadcasting from the Maple City Dodge broadcast booth. Apologize about the streaming issues we had here, and we probably will continue to have some streaming issues now and then. I am recording this, the finished product in high definition, so we will post it so the ones you did not see in the very beginning will be on there as well. The modified racers, so again, apologize about that, but sometimes you're at the mercy of technology. You all know how technology works as they work to repair what's going on here. And they're getting getting off. There we go. Now they're going to start back up again. So no need to text me or message me. I do know we're having problems. I know it before you do, because I am notified that the stream is not working. And I know it 10
Nate
seconds.
Morey, Artport Canasteraga is on the race course.
I know it 10 seconds before you guys do, so that there's going to be an issue. So, like right now, I think there's an issue. It'll slow down, maybe. But we'll just keep going. Plugging on.
Nate with a first run time of 32:30, 32.30. Ben Burns, Alfred Almond is on the race course. Ben Burns with a first run time of 31.86, 31.86. Jordan Luther of Keshqua is now on the race course. Ethan Bradley of Batavia is on course. Jordan Luther with a first run time of 33.34, 33.34. Ethan with a first run time of 53.27, 53.27.
Doing some more repairs. As we go. I always want to condemn or commend, not condemn, commend the people here at Swain and all the volunteers from the different schools that allow this to happen. Just an amazing.
On course, Zagan Nowak, Pornell.
It's got to be one of the sports that require the most handling, as opposed with people that help support it, because it's amazing the guys out there correcting. They got obviously medical people here as well, coordinators, everyone. The school, just amazing setup, and I just commend them. They're just amazing how they get this operational all the time like this, especially when you have 100 racers or close to 100 racers. And you can see them obviously repairing, making sure the snow is right for them, because safety first, obviously.
At the middle of the race course is Aiden O'Keefe of Livonia. Zagan with a first run time of 45.54, 45.54.
You can see him. See, that's what I'm talking about.
Aiden with a first run time of 32.42, 32.42. Jesse Smith of Wayland, Cohocton, Dansville is on course.
And if we're having a little bit of trouble, I apologize. Racer coming. Nope. Yep.
Logan Howe of Arkport Canasarega is on the race course. Jesse with a first run time of 65.05, 65.05. Brennan Lang of Alfred Allman is at the top of the race course, approaching the finish. Logan Howe, Arkport Canasarega. Logan with a first run time of 34.39, 34.39. Brennan Lang with a first run time of 32.13, 32.13. Top of the race course, Jude Luther of Keshequa. Just out of the start house, Elijah Abdallah of Batavia. Jude with a first run time of 39.74, 39.74. Just out of the start house, Riley Tierney of Hornell. Elijah with a first run time of 48.86, 48.86. Riley Tierney with a first run time of 45.41, 45.41. Max McInerney of Livonia is on the race course. Max with a first run time of 35.98, 35.98. Michael Hoyt of Arkport Canasarega is on course. Micah with a first run time of 40.23, 40.23. Ethan Michelle Alfred Allman is on the race course. Greg Loper of Keshequa just out of the start house. Ethan with a first run time of 32.42, 32.42. Peyton Wohler of Batavia is at the top of the course. Greg with a first run time of 40.12, 40.12. Peyton with a first run time of 61.08, 61.08. George Christian of Livonia is at the top of the race course. George Christian with a first run time of 37.20, 37.20. Jaden Lang of Arkport Canasteraga is on course.
Jaden Lang is off course now. Hope he's all right. Again, if you're watching and we're having some streaming issues, I apologize. And we will upload the complete version tonight or tomorrow morning. So if you missed something or the modified races at the very beginning, we did film, I think all of them except maybe the first person or second one, but they'll get a second run here as well. I'm not saying we won't have more problems because I'm not sure why we're having issues.
Jaden with a first run time of 79.84, 79.84. Niall Regis, Alfred Almonds at the top of the race course.
Another one off. In that same spot, they seem to be wrecking or wiping out, I don't know if you want to call it. I think they get a little too speedy there, a little fast. That's why they have to obviously go down twice, but
Niall with the first run time of 54.42, 54.42. Dan Burley of Kashaqua is at the top of the course.
now I just noticed one of my systems just came back online, so hopefully we should be all set. We won't lose you. We might lose you for a little bit if I have to switch back to the other
Owen
system.
Cabo of Livonia just out of the race house.
Just so you know. I have no idea why this was, but
Dan with a first run time of 40.69, 40.69.
so just so you know, we shouldn't lose you again. If we do, we're going to lose you just for a few minutes while I switch systems, but other than that, someone was off course, so we're just going to watch him come down here.
Owen Cabo is off course, just out of the start house. Griffin, Milliman, Arkport, Canasteraga.
I think when they take a break between first and second races, we'll switch over to the other system because it's more reliable than the one we're on now. Just so you know.
Griffin with a first run time of 39.26, 39.26.
Again, right
Talon
there.
Holly, Alfred Almonds on course.
Talon Holly. He's not the only one. We've had several people miss that gate. I don't know if you're required to go off course and stay off course to the end, or
Owen Cirillo of Livonia just out of the start house.
because he stayed with it. I would think you'd want to try to finish even if it's even if you're DQ'd to know the course, but maybe you can't.
Talon with a first run time of 48:10, 48.10. Aaron Curtin of Alfred Almond is at the top of the race course. Owen with a first run time of 45.90, 45.90. Aaron with a first run time, 49.32, 49.32. On course Harrison Oliver of Livonia. Harrison with a first run time of 43.39, 43.39.
Some of the workers that are taking care of the system out here. The slopes. Only a few more racers left here. I think. I haven't heard some of the names called yet. I could be wrong, but not sure what they're doing. I don't think this is before the. I haven't heard anything about. Anyways, we'll give you a quick look at Swain from a drone shot that we did in January. That's where they're coming down there. That's Wheels Run, basically in the center. You see there, Wheels Run, and where finish line is at the very bottom. They're not starting at the very top. You'll see this shot up here is at the very top, coming down, and we're not way up there, obviously. It starts right to the left there. You see that start gate right there, right in the center, and the rest of the hill they come down. Obviously avoiding the kind of over to the left-hand side as you're coming down. That's where the course is set up, and then the escape route basically to the right when you're off course or whatever. And then we're filming inside that building right there. That's the race lodge where you also get your rentals and stuff from. Today's race conditions, they have a 26-inch base, 11 inches of new snow in the last 72 hours, and you know they had the big snow on Saturday. 25 open trails, and 4 of the 5 ski lifts are open here at Swain. Don't forget to log on to swain.com if you're planning on coming over. Don't forget to ski, you can play, and stay as well. And you can eat at Swain. Still working on the conditions. Maybe they're done with the between. I'm not positive, but we'll figure it out. They haven't said anything about being between races or not.
Don't be fooled. Video hearings are as critical as appearing in person.
Make sure your rights are protected.
Your employer has trained specialists on their side.
And the judges work for New York State.
The only person on your side
Is the attorney at your side.
Connors and Ferris, your workers' comp attorneys.
Laura and I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of our veterans, especially those who have served or are currently serving overseas.
Here at the Dagan Funeral Home, we take pride in serving the funeral needs of our veterans. We can arrange military services and, if desired, burial in a VA cemetery. We will provide an American flag, a veterans cemetery marker, and can also apply for military death benefits.
The Dagan Funeral Home, 5 generations of the Dagan family serving our veterans.
We might root for different teams, but we all respect the game. And we can all root for each other when we wear a mask. Mask up, America.
The Ryan Agency, for all your insurance needs.
You've got a great driving record. Every insurance company wants you. Recognize how valuable you are. Go to the Ryan Agency for the right insurance, price, coverage, and service.
Insurance protection you can rely on. The Ryan Agency.
Stop in at Maple City Dodge and see all the legendary brands we have to offer.
I never thought I'd be able to afford my dream vehicle, and with help from Doug from Maple City Dodge, he helped turn that dream into a reality.
I bought my Jeep at Maple City Dodge for the price and exceptional service. It was my first time. I'll be back again.
It's Maple City Dodge's 50th year of business. The reason for that is our great sales and service. So come on in and see us.
On the course here. Still doing some final preps and getting ready for the second times, I guess. I didn't hear anybody say that they were done with the first one, so the first set they didn't say that's the end of the first race. Nobody said anything, so but since they've been doing this the whole time, well, don't forget you can catch us on Facebook on Peisch Sports. Just log on to Peisch Sports on Facebook, as well as Instagram. People say, why don't you get a TikTok? I said, I don't know. I have enough time trying to keep all this stuff straight, being a one-man operation, let alone trying to do everything like that. I'm not sure how you could do, I don't know if they do live like this or not, but I think it's short videos. But you also find us on Twitter, Peisch Sports. We also have Peisch News as well, if you want to know any kind of news, information, and stuff like that. We have Peisch News on Twitter, Facebook as well, and Instagram. And of course, YouTube, that's what you're watching now, the YouTube channel. just waiting for things to start back up. They took, actually, and while we're at commercial break there, like I talked about the amount of people that it takes to do this, there was about 7 of them on the whole course, you know, correcting the snow, trying to get things properly set for the second race. I happened to watch the Monroe County races from Hunt Hollow over in Naples the other day, and online you can watch it. And they actually had two courses set up. I didn't really. They don't have announcers, so I couldn't tell what was actually going on. But they actually had 2 racers at a time going, and I mean right next to each other, but with two separate sets of gates. And I thought that was kind of interesting. That would surely speed things up. But you'd really have to have a course. Obviously, it'd have to be, at least another probably 20, 30 feet wider to allow that to do it here. And I don't know if they need it here. I'm not sure why they do it like that, or if that's. And I also like to know. I know a few. You don't have to text me now because. But what are all the courses like? Is this course exactly the same length as what Monroe County's racing at Hunt Hollow, and what Finger Lakes is racing and stuff like that? I just wonder.
On course, modified racer Thomas Christian of Livonia.
So they are trying to finish up the first set of races here. Oh, and they seem to still. Everyone's having a little bit of trouble there. It looks like a real sharp curve, maybe. Where these look, you can see how they're like, these are a little bit more wider. That one, you got to come to almost a stop, it looks like. I never raced. I used to ski all the time.
Just out of the start house, Nava Gibson, Wayland Cohocton, Dansville.
So I'm not 100% positive that's what the issue was there, but let's see if they have any trouble here. It's that one right in the middle.
Thomas with a second run time of 47.27, 47.27.
Time worked out good. Obviously, when you're trying to go as fast as you possibly can, you might run into a problem.
On course, Nava Gibson, just out of the start house, Nolan Maury, Arkport, Canasarega. Nava with a second run time of 41.99, 41.99. Grace Harris is at the top of the race course, Alfred Almond. Nolan with a second run time, 35.69, 35.69.
Talk to Mr. Regas. he was down in Florida on Tuesday, and he flew back last night.
Jules Cotton of Keshequa, just out of the start house. Grace Harris approaching the finish, Alfred Almond. Grace with a second run time of 40.36, 40.36.
Said he flew into Elmira, and I was like, well, said at least he didn't try to fly back on Tuesday. Said he watched it from down in Florida, Tuesday's races. I'd like to thank everybody watching here in Section 5 around the country. People in Florida, people in California text me and
Abby Bastine of Batavia is at the top of the race course.
comment. Thank you very much for everything. Always looking for advertisers. I'm an advertising base. The schools do not pay me, so
Jules with a second run time of 52.43, 52.43.
If you're interested, you can message me on one of those platforms, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. Have some new advertisers coming on this week. We thank you. And the families thank you.
Margaret Hall of Hornell, just out of the race house.
I love like we talked about how the racers have gotten all.
Abby with a second run time of 47.52, 47.52.
Have gotten better with each race. You see them, going faster and faster their times, and obviously it's different races, slalom and giant slalom, but good to see the improvement.
Caden Cabo, Livonia Geneseo's top of the race course. Margaret with a second run time of 54.04, 54.04.
This is the second set of races then. I believe this is modified.
Thomas Adams of Dansville, just out of the race house.
This is the Southern Tier Race League. I know some schools don't participate that are in this area.
Caden with a second run time of 40.40.
I'll tell you what, I think it's cool. I think it's awesome. Oh no! And obviously it might be this different year of COVID and stuff like that they didn't have the money or resources to put into skiing. I'm not sure if that's the reason or not. That's just my assumption. You know what they say about assuming. Shout out to Todd Bielecki, Arkport's ski coach. Also teaches in Hornell. Had Achilles surgery.
At the top of the course, Quinn Owens of Arkport, Canasarega. Tommy Boy Adams with a second run time of 55.95, 55.95.
He's watching from home, I'm assuming. Jenny Reynolds is over here for Arkport. She's got things in control, so.
Quinn with a second run time of 49.40, 49.40. Burl Donnan of York is making his way down the race course.
I tell you, that spot has been, it's like a spot that's been not good for the racers today.
Leo Bailey, Livonia Geneseo, just out of the start house. Burl Donnan with a second run time of 37.93, 37.93. Aiden York of Dansville, top of the race course. Leo with a second run time of 37.32, 37.32. Grayson Millman, Arkport, Canasarega, just out of the start house. Aiden with a second run time of 41.51, 41.51. Sophia Denny of Livonia Geneseo, top of the course.
I'm confused. It sounds like they're intermixing men and women, or boys and girls between the two.
Grayson with a second run time of 49.15, 49.15.
I'm not sure why they do that.
In the start house, Xavier York of Dansville.
Tell you, it makes me want to come over and ski again. I tell you, if I didn't have bad knees.
Sophia with a second run time of 47.40, 47.40. Just out of the start house, Wyatt Everman of Dansville. Xavier York of Dansville approaching the finish. Xavier with a second run time of 43.30, 43.30.
Don't forget, we'll be with you at 10 o'clock or 10.
Just out of the start house, Parker Fitzpatrick of Dansville.
10 a.m. Saturday morning for more skiing over here and Alpine racing at Swain Resort. Log on to swainresort.com for conditions if you want to come over.
Wyatt Everman with a second run time of 44.82, 44.82.
I did talk to some people that were over here watching because they had a cousin or something racing, but they also bought passes and are skiing today too, so it's an extra plus trip for some people over here. You can also dine as well. They have great food services and stuff over here as well, restaurants.
Dansville's own Parker Fitzpatrick with a second run time of 49.26, 49.26. This concludes our modified field for the evening.
Oh, that's why it was modified. I got a little confused there because they didn't actually announce that this was the second runs and stuff like that, so I apologize that I'm not. I think I know it all sometimes, but like my dad once said, he's never been wrong, but he thinks he was mistaken one time. So we'll start with the varsity girls back as they do a little cleaning up. Wait for them. I think they're just coming down the hill.
Let's get started with girls varsity. Just out of the start house, Katie Mance of Keshequa.
So this is girls varsity. Last was modified. Don't forget, starting next week, basketball starts on Peisch Sports.
Top of the race course, Nicole Cartwright of Keshequa. Katie with a second run time of 38.47, 38.47. Heather Moriarty of Keshequa at the top of the race course. Nicole with a second run time of 37.47, 37.47.
Another one. Down, hope she's all right. Again, if we're having some buffering issues, I apologize.
Heather Moriarty of Keshqua is off course. Top of the race course, Kelly Little of Dansville.
Almost lost another one there.
Callie with a second run time of 36.55, 36.55. Alyssa Kaufman with a second run time of 37 flat, 37.00. Molly Raz of Keshqua is on course. Bella Lang of Alfred Almonds at the top of the course. Malia with a second run time of 34.88, 34.88. Just out of the starter house, Claire Sciano of Keshqua. Bella Lang with a second run time of 35.87, 35.87. Kirsten Van Dorn of Keshqua, top of the course. Claire with a second run time of 33.39, 33.39.
Another one down.
Kirsten with a second run time of 42.99, 42.99. Maureen Stuckey, Artport Canasteraga on course. Maureen with a second run time of 30.13, 30.13. Rihanna Tierney of Hornell is on course. Laura Murray, Artport Canasteraga is at the top of the race course.
Ooh, nice recovery.
Rihanna with a second run time of 37.28, 37.28.
Sorry for some streaming issues, but
Just out of the start house, Sienna Montague, Arkport, Canaseraga. Laura with a second run time of 36.91, 36.91.
I think I'm going to try switching over, which I didn't do.
Lindsey Johnson, Livonia Geneseo is in the start house.
So it might go down for a few seconds and come back up. Because we're having too many problems now.
Sienna. Lindsay with a second run time of 42.09, 42.09. Anna Wood of Keshequa is on course.
I think should be all set from here on out.
Just out of the start house, Sophie Wilkins, Hornell.
Comes Sophie Wilkins, Hornell.
Anna Wood with a second run time of 39.16, 39.16. Sophie Wilkins, Hornell approaching the finish. Sydney Hurlbert, Arkport, Canaseraga, top of the race course. Sophie with a second run time of 45.14, 45.14. Abby Groves at Alfred Almond, just out of the start house. Sydney with a second run time of 43.33, 43.33. Emma Jo Pierce of Alfred of Keshequa, just out of the start house. Abby with a second run time of 42.71, 42.71. In the start house, Luna Quintana of Alfred Almond. Emma Jo Pierce with a second run time of 39.46, 39.46. Just out of the start house, Abby Lewandowski of Keshequa. Approaching the finish, Luna Quintana, Alfred Almond. Luna with a second run time of 48.93, 48.93. In the start house, Lena Michelle, Alfred Almond. Abby with a second run time of 42.10, 42.10. Lano with a second run time of 45.10, 45.10. Jaden Brock of Hornell is on course. Jaden with a second run time of 44.45, 44.45. Catherine Rosser, Livonia Geneseo is on course. Valerie Miller, Arkport Canasarega in the start house. Catherine with a second run time of 47.88, 47.88. Grace Denny, Livonia Geneseo, just out of the start house. Valerie with a second run time of 49.84, 49.84. Ella Napolitano of Alfred Almond, just out of the start house. Grace with a second run time of 51.68, 51.68. Just out of the start house, Quinn Wohler of Batavia. Ella with a second run time of 60.39, 60.39. On course, Quinn Wohler of Batavia, Audrey Bosberg of Wayland Cohocton Dansville, just out of the start house.
She's all right. as we're waiting, you can see one of the quads in operation on the that's to the right of us as we're looking up. I'm assuming tomorrow night will be. Nope, as we're gonna go back, 'cause she's gonna. I don't know what she's doing. She's going to try completing.
Just out of the start house, Sophia Minuto, Batavia. At the top of the race course, Lily Whiting of Batavia. Sophia with a second run time of 51.26, 51.26. Lily with a second run time of 44.37, 44.37. Carly Curtis of Hornell is on course. Emma Probonic of Livonia Geneseo just out of the start house. Carly with a second run time of 43.59, 43.59. In the start house, Lily Wagner at Batavia. Emma with a second run time of 42.38, 42.38. Our first boys varsity racer, Brendan Lang of Alfred Almond, is on course. Lily with second run time of 47.53, 47.53. Brennan with a second run time, 32.72, 32.72. Chaz Dorflinger, Livonia Geneseo is on course. Top of the race course, Ben Burns, Alfred Almond. Chaz with a second run time of 31.89, 31.89.
try. Good recovery. Obviously trying to go as fast as they possibly can. Beat their former times.
Ben with a second run time of 39.67, 39.67. Jack Burns, Alfred Allman on course. Andrew Slade, Livonia Geneseo is at the top of the race course. Jack Burns with a second run time of 32.58, 32.58. Ryan Thayer, Keshequa is at the top of the race course. Andrew with a second run time of 29.83, 29.83. Ryan with a second run time of 31.36, 31.36. Jackson McInerney, Livonia Geneseo, top of the course. Cameron Clare of Alfred Allman just out of the start house. Jackson with a second run time of 30.79, 30.79. Connor Stuckey, Arkport, Canaseraga, just out of the start house. Cameron with a second run time of 30.21, 30.21. Connor with a second run time of 27.74, 27.74. Adam Hunt of Keshequa is on course. Adam with a second run time of 27.63, 27.63. Nate Maury, Arkport, Canaseraga, approaching the finish. Nate with a second run time of 30.68, 30.68. On course, Aiden O'Keefe, Livonia Geneseo. Top of the race course, Ethan Michelle, Alfred Allman. Aiden with a second run time of 31.15, 31.15. Top of the race course, Logan Howell, Arkport, Canaseraga. Ethan with a second run time of 33.67, 33.67. Jordan Luther of Keshequa, top of the race course. Logan with a second run time of 33.26, 33.26. Just out of the start house, Andrew Davis of Hornell. Jordan with a second run time of 33.35, 33.35. Dylan Quackenbush, Wellencock, and Dansville just out of the start.
Looks like there's a pole snapped off.
Andrew Davis with a second run time of 37.18, 37.18.
You'll see it when they come down. There's something sticking out of the ground, but we'll get there. And that one right there.
Max McInerney, Livonia Geneseo, just out of the start. Dylan with a second run time of 36.60, 36.60.
Racers get close.
Just out of the start house, George Christian, Livonia Geneseo.
We have to do a double here.
Max with a second run time of 37.67, 37.67. I'm sorry, Max with a second run time of 58.21, 58.21. George Christian, second run time 37.67, 37.67.
You can hear they said a broken blue. So they're holding everybody up, which is fine. Sometimes you have to do that. I noticed, like I said, it was broke, but nobody seemed to say anything or didn't do anything and give us a chance to give us some of the ads. Hess's tree and stump removal, bucket truck services, chipping, stump grinding, dependable expert service call. Lenny Rose 324-1326, Hess's tree and stump removal. Maple City Dodge, Airport Road, North Ronell, great sales, great service, and all Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep. Thanks, Maple City Dodge, for all your support. Maple City Dodge, Airport Road in North Ronell. Rustic Lux, 176 Seneca Street. Don't throw that piece of furniture away. Bring it in for reloved, repaired furniture. Furniture brought back to life.
Top of the race course, Ben Teed, Wellencock, and Dansville.
Rustic Lux. And you saw quickly there, Dr. Pat Pico accepting new patients over in Wellsville. Thanks, Dr. Pico. Get his ad up here shortly. I don't know if they put a blue in or not.
Zach Wagner of Batavia, just out of the start house.
They did. That's one of the things, you don't forget they have to fix that too as well. So good job by the
Ben T with a second run time of 38.21, 38.21.
course watchers here.
I'm on the soccer team, the boys varsity soccer team.
Griffin Milliman, Arkport, Canasarega, just out of the start house.
Yeah, and the Alpine ski team. Yeah, and I'm in FFA and National Technical Honor Society and National
Zach Wagner with a second run time of 37.14, 37.14.
Second time down, they haven't had as many incidences in that.
Jude Luther, Keshequa, top of the race course.
That one spot up there.
It's like a boat, it's like a boat.
Griffin with a second run time of 39.95, 39.95. Greg Loper of Keshequa, just out of the start house.
I coached youth Kiwanis soccer team this summer. I think there was 10 or 9.
Jude with a second run time of 40.50, 40.50. Evan Hall of Hornell, just out of the start house.
Like, because the coach like quit halfway through the season because they had surgery, so they asked me if I would do it, and like they didn't win a single game.
Greg with a second run time of 40.89, 40.89.
Yeah. I got accepted into Alfred State Heavy Olympic program.
Michael Hoyt of Arkport, Canastawega, just out of the start house.
Yeah, Heavy Olympic program. I'd say like Heavy.
Evan with a second run time of 43.28, 43.28. In the start house, Dan Burley of Keshequa. Michael with a second run time of 39.89, 39.89. In the start house, Harrison Oliver of Livonia. Dan Burley with a second run time of 42.38, 42.38. In the start house, Eli Vosberg, Wayland Cohocton, Dansville. Harrison with a second run time of 41.15, 41.15. Riley Tierney of Hornell, just out of the start house. Eli Vosberg with a second time of 43.41, 43.41. Zagan Nowak of Hornell, just out of the start house. Riley Tierney with a second run time of 46.40, 46.40.
I guess I taught some kids like.
Owen Cirillo of Livonia is at the top of the race course. Zagan with a second run time of 47.14, 47.14. Talon Holly of Alfred Almond is in the start house. with a second run time of 46.92, 46.92. In the start house, Elijah Abdallah of Batavia. Talon with a second run time of 36.18, 36.18. Elijah Abdallah of Batavia is on course. Aaron Curtin of Alfred Almond is in the start house. Elijah with a second run time of 48.40, 48.40. Aaron Curtin is on course. Ben Stone of Batavia just out of the start house. Aaron with a second run time of 49.70, 49.70. Ben Stone of Batavia is on course. Ethan Bradley, also of Batavia, is in the start house. Ethan Bradley of Batavia is at the top of the race course. Ben Stone approaching the finish. Ben with a second run time of 78.90, 78.90. Niall Regas of Alfred Almond is in the start house. Ethan with a second run time of 52.51, 52.51. Niall Regas is on course. In the start house, Peyton Wohler of Batavia. Niall is off course, just out of the start house, Peyton Wohler, Batavia. Jesse Smith, Wayland, Cohocton, Dansville, just out of the start house. Peyton with a second run time of 58.46, 58.46. Jaden Lang, Arkport, Canasarega is in the start house. Jesse Smith, Wayland, Cohocton, Dansville is on course. Jesse Smith with a second run time of 69.04, 69.04. Jaden Lang, Arkport, Canasarega is on course. Owen Cabo of Livonia, Geneseo is in the start house.
Wonder why they wait, because they're expecting him to cross, or they don't know that he was off course, or not sure why they.
Jaden is off course, just out of the start house. Owen Cabo, Livonia. Owen with a second run time of 42.40, 42.40.
That might be it. I don't see anybody in the gate. So again, we apologize about the first few racers that we missed. We did record it, so we'll be able to post it up. So I'm assuming that's it. They usually tell you that that's it. I don't see anyone in the gate, and I see everyone starting to come down the hill. And we'll take a look at the anyone going up. Yeah, there are people going up over there. Here we go. Quads. I remember right. They seem like they're going awful slow. Seemed like they were faster when I was younger.
You guys want a bottle of water before you go? No? Yes?
So,
No? Okay.
I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Apologize again about some of the problems we had earlier, but give you kind of a rundown of our ads again at Connors and Ferris, Workers' Comp Attorneys offices in Buffalo, Rochester, and New York City. Call 585-262-COMP. Thank you, Connors and Ferris, for all your support. Connors and Ferris, MysticMedia.com, your small business digital success partner, web development, search optimization, blog content, social media, and much, much more. Log on to MysticMedia.com. Thanks, Jim Moore, for your support. John N. Dagan, General Trial Practice, proudly serving the Southern Tier since 1989. Call 324-6690. John N. Dagan. Mike Palmer, Plumbing and Heating, Air Conditioning, State Route 36 in Canasteel, 698-4444. Need a plumber? Call Palmer, Mike Palmer. The Ryan Agencies with 3 great locations, Hornell, Jasper, and Wellsville. Stop in at their Hornell location at 57 Broadway or call 324-7500. Insurance protection you can rely on at the Ryan Agency. Gilio's Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, 382-0836. Chad Gilio, 24-day emergency service. Fully bonded and insured. Gilio's Plumbing up in North Hornell, Seneca Road, up by the Tasty Freeze. Dagan Funeral Home, 38 Church Street, call 324-3500. For traditional funeral services, cremation services, thanks. Dagan Funeral Home, of course, Howard Hanna, Real Estate Services, Reggie Gambino, great combination. Howard Hanna, Reggie Gambino, 382-3052. Gray Manufacturing Industries, Transit Industry, Manufacturing, Engineering, Consulting, they do it all since 2006. Gray Manufacturing Industries, located in Hornell. Forever 6 Apparel, 385-3148, or log on to forever6ixapparel.com. They do everything, hoodies, shirts, banners, coffee mugs, anything you can imagine they can do at Forever 6. Elderwood at Hornell, 1 Bethesda Drive. Long-term care facility, short-term rehab. Beautiful facilities, check them out at 1 Bethesda Drive, Elderwood in Hornell. So like I said, that's going to do it until Saturday morning at 10 a.m. We'll be on. They do the girls' races at 10, I believe, and the boys at 1 o'clock, so they're not right back to back. So it won't be one after another. And that is it. So we're going to leave you with some commercials, and we'll see you on Saturday.
For workers' comp, things can change quickly. The only way to make sure your rights are protected is to have a trusted, committed attorney on your side.
An attorney who has devoted their career to helping injured workers.
Someone to fight for the money and medical benefits you deserve.
The only person on your side
is the attorney at your side.
Connors and Ferris, your workers' comp attorneys.
Wait a second.
Do you know who I am?
Julia.
Hi. I just wanted to talk to you about what happened with those 2 girls in 8th grade.
Oh yeah?
That one day at PE when they were like yelling at me, and then you just linked arms with me. I don't think you know how much like that helped me, because like I finally like knew that I had somebody.
Hi, I'm Laura Dagan-Pico, and along with my father, Jim Dagan, operate the Dagan Funeral Home here in Hornell.
The Dagan Funeral Home is a large, spacious, handicap-accessible facility with a seating capacity of 150 people, along with a separate family room for entertaining children. We also offer DVD memorial tributes, which continually show photographs and movies of your loved one's life on 2 beautiful flat-screen TVs.
The Dagan Funeral Home, 5 generations of the Dagan family serving your family.
If you love concerts and live theater, going to baseball games, and eating in restaurants, inside, if you love parties and the small talk with the guy who makes you iced coffee the right way, then wear a mask and let's beat this virus so we can get back to the things we love. Be New York tough. Mask up, America.
Ryan Agency for all your insurance needs.
Some insurance types work for just one company and can't offer choice. But the Ryan Agency is your local independent agency, offering options from many top insurance companies. Declare your insurance independence.
Insurance protection you can rely on. The Ryan Agency.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
To all of our customers, past, present, and future, thank you for choosing Maple City Dodge.
I wanted a new Dodge Ram diesel. I sat down with my salesperson Larry and we discussed all the options, and he gave me a total, and it was a lot less than any other place I had talked to. This is the first time that I've dealt with Maple City Dodge, and I definitely will be back again for another vehicle.
Here at Maple City Dodge, we're committed to our customer for great deals and great service. Come on in and see us.
When it comes to workers' comp, things can change quickly.
The only way to make sure your rights are protected is to have a trusted, committed attorney on your side.
An attorney who has devoted their career to helping injured workers.
Someone to fight for the money and medical benefits you deserve.
The only person on your side
is the attorney at your side.
Connors and Fair.